Shouldn't be too far away, hopefully. YouTube hasn't let me down yet. There it is. It's currently loading onto the channel as I speak. Here it is. Yep, audio is working as it should. Streams up, chats up, are all good to go. That's fantastic. I think we might be waiting on one more driver, folks, and when they arrive, ready up signal will be given and we'll get this underway. Another solid grid for America Series. We got 15 at the moment. Like I said, there should be one more on the way. A field of 16 is more than enough for a race weekend, especially around a racetrack like Azerbaijan. Oh, no, nice to see. Everything should be okay in terms of settings. I did that before the stream. Double checking notes. All that professional stuff that I do these days just to make sure everything is ready. Couple drivers ticking already, including Sparty. He might have given the ready up signal. Hang on, I'll double check. Yep, ready up. Alright, so if we get one more, they'll arrive through qualifying. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Get rid of that stuff, get the notes up, get that up. When the screen cuts to black, I'll start the intro as per normal. Oh, just waiting on Saucy, actually. Everyone readied up. -1. Hello everyone and welcome to round 13 of the America's Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're at Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Introduced to the Formula 1 world back in 2016, Baku City Circuit has gained the reputation of creating some of the most dramatic and unpredictable races we have ever seen in the history of Formula 1. It's a narrow, high-speed, 3.73 mile, 20-turn street circuit with concrete walls lining almost every single edge of every single corner and straightaway. There is absolutely no room for error. This is particularly apparent in the most famous part of the course, the castle section. Formed by turns 8 through 12, it's the narrowest and most demanding part of the racetrack, a section where even a single, minuscule mistake will prove to be incredibly costly. For overtaking during the race, the drivers must utilise the 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 3, and more importantly, Turn 1 will be seeing entry speeds of over 210 miles an hour. Outside of those areas, the drivers will find it difficult to overtake. This creates a greater emphasis on qualifying well and gaining track position early. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Austria. A few incident reports, the first involving Blockman and KD, an incident we caught on stream where Blockman loses control through turn 6, runs into a gravel trap, and rejoins in front of KD, and the two collide. The stewards, from the stewards, they say Blockman was obviously at fault, and he received a 10-second time penalty and 2 penalty points for what happened there. There was another incident report involving Mighty Wombat, where he crossed the solid white line at pit entry, and because of the rules, he was given a 5-second time penalty for that. Blockman would move from P8 to P9 in the final results of the sprint, where he got his penalty applied. Wombat, even with his time penalties applied, wouldn't move position in the final results of the main race. In the Drivers' Championship, it's the tightest that I've seen in Season 8. Mighty Wombat is leading the way on 244 points, followed by Saucy in the Aston Martin on 232. 12 points separate the top two in the Drivers' Championship, and this man Blockman, who's been on really good form as of late, is third in the championship on 216 points, 16 behind Saucy, 28 behind Mighty Wombat. Rebellion is next. He's currently out on track. He's on, oh dearie me, his Blockman almost goes into the wall. He might have hit it when I wasn't looking. I was reading the notes. Rebellion is 4th on 196 points. He's mathematically still in the fight, but he's 48 points off Mighty Wombat, 20 behind his teammate. He needs a few good races. He needs his rivals to have a few bad ones. Tom, RF1 Tom, completes the top 5. He's absent for today. He is 5th on 177 points. Next is KD on 127, followed by Youngling on 126. Mr. Nars on 113, Subforline on 107, and Take It Easy rounds out the top 10 on 103 points. In the Constructors, it's a one-sided affair for Alpine right now. They're on 412 points, with Mercedes in P2 on 371. They're not mathematically out of contention, Mercedes, not by a long shot, but they need some good races, and they need the Alpines to have a couple of bad races to get themselves back in contention. Next is McLaren on 284, 1 point in front of Aston Martin, who are on 283. Ferrari are next on 179, followed by Williams on 132, Red Bull Racing on 113, Haas on 86, AlphaTauri on 63, and Alfa Romeo on 52 points at the bottom of the table. But that's it in terms of news. We can now focus on this qualifying session. Blockman on a flying lap, making his way through the castle section, through turns 11 and 12, as he'll make his way around the old city of Baku. Bit of lag there. Luckily, it doesn't affect us too much. Around turn 13, round turn 14, up towards turn 15. Hard on the brakes down to second gear. Short shifts up to third as he makes his way towards the final part of this racetrack. After turn 16, this left-hander, it is absolutely flat out from here to the finish line and towards turn 1 as well. In fact, the whole section is about 2 kilometers long, which is, what, about 1.4 miles? There or thereabouts. Absolutely flat out. Opens DRS, watch the speedo, 210, 211, 212, 213, 214. 215 miles an hour indicated as Blockman sets the benchmark to beat, 39.017. And that's actually quite a quick benchmark. If I use a tier 1 reference, that is pretty fast. Tier 1 pole time was a 38.490, something like that. Scornsy, he sets his benchmark. That's not too bad either, 39.6. Not a bad benchmark at all. Rebel making his way out of turn 16. The 6th Alpine Mobile making his way through the flat-out S of turns 18 and 19. Very easy to get it wrong through there. A couple of other drivers completing times. Got a Red Bull crossing the line as Mr. Nars jumps up to P5 with a 42.2. Rebellion here will do a 39.4. It's currently an Alpine 1-2 out there. Not a surprise with the recent form of the Alpine duo. We're right on board with Take It Easy. Give you a tour of this racetrack. Into turn 1, second gear, back on the accelerator. Nice and tidy out of the opening left-hander. Into turn 2, an important corner to get right. You need to maximise the exit, so then when you open DRS and send it down the back straight away, you can carry as much speed as possible entering turn 3. Speaking of which, entering at 205 miles an hour, brings it down to third gear, clips the apex. Nice and tidy through turn 3 towards turn 4, down to third gear, clipping the apex, and a very tidy exit out of there. This completes the first sector. We'll head into the chicane of 6 and 7, second gear, through both corners, clobbering the inside curve there, as we head up towards turn 7. An interesting hairpin as we get on the brakes down to the second gear. You can see how much curb you're meant to use on the inside. You basically cut the whole corner. Through the castle section, turns 8, 9, 10, 11, and then this left-hander of turn 12. Nice exit out of there, climbing up through the gears as we head around turn 13 and turn 14, these two flat-out left-handers, and then into turn 15. A very notorious corner, very easy to get it wrong through there. It's easy to overshoot the corner and go into the barrier on the outside. Around turn 16, we now enter the final part of the lap. The kink of 17 here, and then we got the S of turns 18 and 19. Flat out through here. You don't want to run too wide at 19 though, otherwise you'll end up in the barrier on the outside. He'll open DRS, ahead up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 41.8, P9 at the moment for Take It Easy. Flavius coming towards the line. He's going to complete his first flying lap. Slowest of all so far with the 44.2. Let's see here. Saucy's on an in lap. Little Mix on an in lap. Take It Easy we've already seen. So we'll keep our eyes on Sergeant Bill then, who's on an out lap. Both Alfa Romeos yet to set a lap time. We've still got plenty of time left in qualifying though. We got a shade under 11 minutes left, so plenty of time. But around a track of this length, 3.7 miles long, clock management is very important during qualifying because outlaps and in-laps take forever around here. So you can't leave it too late to try and do your final run right at the end of qualifying. Head up to... Oh! Well, that's not good. Bill hit the wall on the outside of turn 7. Hopefully he didn't get any damage from that. The game can be forgiving even with knocks like that. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you don't. So we'll see what Sergeant Bill does. If he switches on the battery, he's going for a lap. If he keeps the battery off, he's going back into the pits to repair his Alfa Romeo. Head up towards the final sector now, round turn 16. Hasn't switched it on just yet. Doesn't need to. Doesn't need to switch it on until about the final corner, turn 20. Big Al is my inspiration for today. Well, hopefully you don't do what he did in the Elite Series race, Saucy. Because, yeah, what he did in the Elite Series was the big dum-dum. And he still hasn't turned on the battery. There we go. He turns it on now. Turned it on very, very late as he heads into turn 1. Up towards turn 2. He'll get on the brakes, bring it down to second gear. Short shifts up to third. Oh, dearie me. Losing control as he applied the accelerator. Managed to catch the slide just and didn't hit the barrier. Well, this attempt isn't going to be competitive on what Sergeant Bill can do after that mistake at turn 2. Would have lost time and he switched off the battery as well. Youngling getting ready for a run. He's got his battery turned on as he'll open DRS and head towards turn 1. What kind of entry speed will we see from the Williams here? 214, 215 indicated as he goes into turn 1. Short shifting up to 4th gear as he heads towards turn 2. Brings it down to second gear. Short shifts up to 3rd. He'll open DRS and head up towards turn 3. Absolutely flat out down this back straightaway. Entry speed of 206 miles an hour. Apex speed of 64 miles an hour at turn 3. Back the car off even more through turn 4. Very tidy through the opening sector from Youngling. Clock says to the first sector he's up by a tenth and a half. With that sort of improvement, he'll maintain position. Needs to find more time over the course of the lap. Round the turn 7 hairpin. Second gear. Short shifts up to 3rd. Very tidy exit. Getting close to the barrier, but not brushing up against it. Through the castle section. Gets through it without making a mistake. Oh, has to be so careful applying the power coming out of turn 12. So easy to lose control, as Sergeant Bill demonstrated earlier. Turn 15. Will he clobber the curb? A little bit. Very tidy run through 15 there from Youngling. Clock says to the middle sector. Youngling is... well, he's still up. He's actually lost time to the middle sector. So will he find a whole chunk of time here in the final sector? Let's find out. Through 18 and 19. Very tidy. Keeping it well away from the outside barrier there at turn 19. As we head down the main straightaway up towards the line. Youngling bails on the lap, so he's not happy with it. He goes back in. He'll put on another set of tyres and have another go. Wombat has bailed on this lap. He's turned off the battery. His Blockman improves to a 38.900. To reaffirm himself at the top of the board. KD's coming towards the end of a flying lap here. What kind of lap time can he do? It's a 40.004 P4 for the moment for the Mercedes driver. Scornsey up by a tenth of a second to the first sector. Rebel coming up towards the line. He's up by 3/10. He's looking at a very low 39 here. And that's what he achieves, a 39.222. Scornsey making his way through turn 16. Very tidy run through that corner as he makes his way through the final part of the lap. flat out through 18 and 19. He'll head towards the final kink of turn 20. Now it's just a straight line blast to the line. DRS open. And he backs off. Not totally happy with the lap. Maybe running out of time on the clock. Yeah, 6 minutes left. He decides, you know what, I'm going to bail on it. I'm going to put on a new set of tyres. Wait right to the end of qualifying to do another lap. Oh, Saucy's jumped up to P3 with a 39.520. He is 3/10 off Rebel at the moment, but he's comfortably in P3 for now. Little Mick on a flying lap, making his way through turn 15, down the hill towards the middle sector split. Clock says for Little Mick, he's up by a fair chunk. He's found 8.5 tenths. He's looking at a low 40 right here. He's going to try and challenge KD for P5. Around the final kink, onto the main straightaway. He'll open DRS and send it towards the line. Little Mick will do a 1 minute 40.260 P6 for the Haas driver, just missing out on KD's time. Mr. Nas, doesn't look like you're on a flying lap. Professor Phil, no, he's down. Sergeant Bill, down as well. So a lot of these guys on in-laps right now. We've got Sparty out on track doing an out-lap. And he's now starting a flying lap. Yet to set a lap time. Currently last in 15th position. Out of turn 1. He'll make his way towards turn 2. Get on the brakes. Bring it down to second gear. Back on the power in third gear. He'll open DRS and send it towards turn 3. What kind of top speed will we see from the AlphaTauri driver? 203 miles an hour. Bring it down to 60 at the apex of turn 3. Into turn 4 now. Down to third gear. Nice and steady, nice and clean. No mistakes so far from Sparty. Got a couple of other drivers on our laps right now. We've got Youngling out on track. We've got Take It Easy out on track. Sparty making his way out of turn 6. Heading towards the hairpin of turn 7. Yellow's out. That is Take It Easy. Getting out of the way. That's well done there from the Ferrari driver. Recognising that Sparty's on the lap. Gets well out of the way. Lets him through. Up the hill through the castle section, making sure he avoids all the barriers. It's very easy to just drift into a barrier and give yourself wing damage. Especially in a no assist tier, like Tier 1 America Series. You can lock up into turn 8 and go straight on into the barrier. Out of turn 15, make his way towards turn 16. Get on the brakes, down to 4th gear, back on the accelerator, nice and easy. No oversteer whatsoever. It's a tidy lap from Sparty. Can he challenge his teammate? Teammate currently with a time of 44.223. Sparty will make his way out of the final corner and down the main straightaway to complete his flying lap. DRS open. It's going to be a 1 minute 44.546. Missing out on his teammate time by 3/10 of a second. Take It Easy, not on a flying lap just yet, it seems. He's on a preparation lap. He's not using any battery right now. He's trying to dump some extra fuel. Can't say the same for Youngling. He's on a proper flying lap here as he makes his way out of turn 2. He'll open DRS and head up towards turn 3. Entry speed we'll see from the Williams here, 205 miles an hour as Little Mick has left the session. He's retired in the pit lane as well. So, Little Mick done for the day. Hopefully he's able to rejoin us. Flavius has been disqualified, being parked in a dangerous location. That must have been him in the runoff area trying to give way to people. Unfortunately, he's just disqualified himself, so he'll be starting from the back in 15th. Youngling making his way out of turn 7 into the castle section. Making his way up the hill, round turn 11 into turn 12. We also got Rebel on a lap right now, so we'll flick to him in just a moment. Want to see how Youngling does here through turn 15 towards the middle sector split, just before Rebel arrives at the first sector. Out of turn 15, down the hill towards the middle sector split. Youngling will improve. Yes, he does. 4/10 of a second up. Rebel, meanwhile, is up by 2/10 of a second to the first sector, so he's found some time. Might be able to challenge his teammate, who knows. Youngling coming towards the end of his lap. Mighty Wombat getting ready. KD doing the same. Youngling will improve. What will the time look like? It's going to be a 1 minute 40.608. P8 just missing out on Mighty Wombat's P7 time. Rebel, meanwhile, making his way through the middle sector. He's actually backed off. He's backing off completely here. Trying to recharge the battery. Hopefully he doesn't run out of time. Actually, has he got a broken wing? He does have a broken wing. So Rebel's found the wall. Qualifying done for him. He will not improve on his 39.2. Saucy, meanwhile, down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Sergeant Bill has retired from the session as well. He's done that in the castle section. Alright, KD, we're going to ride on board with you. What's happened here? KD, is he on a proper lap? Looks like it. Into the castle section we go. There he is. Bit of a distraction there for KD. He makes his way out of turn 12. Very tidy there from the Mercedes driver. Scorenzi making his way out of turn 12. Around the flat-out left-handers of turn 13 and 14. KD to the middle sector. He's up by a tenth. It's not enough to try and challenge those in front of him. Saucy, meanwhile, heading up towards the middle sector split. Scorenzi doing the same. Clock says Scorenzi's up by 43 thousandths of a second. Meanwhile, Saucy, is he up? Yes, he is by 44 thousandths of a second. Not big improvements here. Blockman's had a huge improvement, though, to the mid-sector. He's up by 0.3 of a second as he makes his way through the final part of the lap. This is going to look like quite a mega lap time from Blockman as he makes his way around the final corner and down the main straightaway. DRS open on his car. Scorenzi's done. Saucy's P3. Scorenzi P4. Blockman P1 with a 38.554. That's a huge lap time from Blockman there. P1 for the Alpine driver. To give you an idea, the Pacific Tier 1 pole time was a 38.490. So 600ths off the pole time of Destiel. There we are. So qualifying done and dusted. We'll be waiting on Rebel and Youngling to make their way into the pits, into their garages, and we can move on to the results table from qualifying. It is an Alpine 1-2 for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Ah, taking our sweet time here. Yeah, 38.554. Gee whiz, that is a quick lap. That would have put him second for the start of the Pacific Tier 1 race. And there we are. Blockman will start from the pole for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Rebel will start alongside him. An Alpine 1-2 here in Baku. Saucy in P3, Scorenzi P4, KD 5th, Little Mix 6th. Splitting the two Mercedes as Mighty Wombat is in 7th. Youngling P8, followed by Professor Phil. Mr. Nars rounds out the top 10. Then we have Take It Easy, Sergeant Bill, the Harmacist. Sparty and Flavius will start from the very back, disqualifying himself during qualifying. So, yeah, less than ideal for him. It's glitched, I'm not actually 0.8 behind. I don't know. Kinda looks like you are. Race time. Considering I got no messages, yeah, dry race. Okay, not even one cloud in the sky. Man, it is sunny at Baku. I'll be curious to see who does what in terms of strategy In other tiers, it's a bit more predictable. Here in America Series, though, it's anything but predictable to try and work out who's starting on what tyre. You can start on the hard tyre and move on to the mediums. You can start on the mediums, get a really good start, then move on to the hard tyre. There's a few things people will try and do here in the Americas Tier 1. Just have to wait and see what they do. Drivers adjusting their setups, adjusting the amount of fuel they want in the car. Some drivers might risk it and put a little less in, based off the fact that this is Baku and there's a decent chance of a safety car. But it's definitely not impossible to have a safety carless race. So it is a risk, putting less fuel in the car. It is definitely a risk. Clock should pop up shortly. Once it does, get ready for the start of the formation lap for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And there's some interesting things coming up in the world of Formula One. We got the announcement trailer coming up in about, 12 hours time? Bit over 12 hours time for F1 23, which I'm sure at least 2 people are looking forward to it. I think at least 2. Well, man, I made the hard mistake Sunday. Oh, okay. Well, let's see what you do here on a Tuesday. Well, it's my Wednesday, but your Tuesday, so make it 3. Alright, who's on what? Well, there you go. Our top 2 are starting on the medium compound tyre. Based off Rebel's message, that shouldn't be a surprise. Saucy, the first driver starting on the hard compound tyre in P3. Scorenzi doing the same as the 2 Alpines. He's on the medium compound tyre. Then we have KD in P5 on the hards. Little Mick in P6 also on the hard tyre. KD's teammate Mighty Wombat is doing the same. He's on the hards. Then Sergeant Bell disqualifies himself, so he's on stone cold tyres for the start of this race. That is less than ideal, especially considering the fact he's on the hard tyre. But the next 4 cars after Mighty Wombat, we have Youngling in P8, Professor Phil in P9, Mr. Nas in P10, and Take It Easy in 11th. They're all starting on the mediums. And we have the Harnessist in P13 starting on the mediums. So is Insane Sparty in 14th. Flavius starting from 15th position is on the hard tyre. There we go. A bit of a mix and match up, which I do kind of expect from America Series. You tend to see a mix-up in terms of strategy as Blockman bonks the wall at turn 9. So what do we got? We got 2, 3, 7, 9 cars on the mediums. That means 6 on the hard. So yeah, a proper mix-up in terms of strategy. We've got some quick drivers on different compounds too. We've got Blockman and Rebel on medium, same with Scorenzi in 4th. And then we got Saucy, KD, Mick, Wombat, all on the hards. Bonk. Another bonk. Alright, we'll get rid of the detail. We'll get rid of this. Get ready for the start of this Grand Prix. Hopefully, everyone aims to get through the opening lap unscathed. It's one of the trickiest opening laps on the calendar to try and complete. The opening lap here at Baku. So many areas where drivers can try and go side by side, but it only ends in disaster. So drivers need to try and sort themselves out in the opening 4 corners, I'd say. Turns 1, 2, 3 and 4 you can go side by side through. After that though, it's a bit of a no-go as KD spins out. Oops. He gets pointed back in the right direction, lights up the rears. His tyres are now nice and hot. He lines up on the grid. Blockman will be lining up on the outside heading towards turn 1. He's on the cleaner side of the racetrack, so should theoretically get a better start. Rebel, though, if he does get a better start, he's got the inside line as Blockman disqualifies himself, so that might give the opportunity for Rebel to try and lead into turn 1. All 15 cars are now lined up, ready to race. We have got 26 laps in front of us, 5 red lights. We're underway here at Baku. It's a nice start from Rebel from P2. May have the whole shot down towards turn 1. He's looking, but Blockman sends it around the outside. He'll lead out of the opening corner. A bit wide is a Ferrari there, Professor Phil. Fortunately, he didn't go in the barrier, but a very tidy start here at the front. What about the midfield, though? Youngling going slowly. Mick trying to look around the outside. Sparty gets by the Harmesis. A wiggle there from Youngling as he stays in P7. Harmesis gets back by Sparty. That's for P13 as we make our way through turn 3. Up towards turn 4. It's a very tidy start. I've got to say, everyone's driven quite well on the opening lap. Very, very well done from all 15 drivers so far. But we're coming up to the most notorious part of the lap, the infamous castle section. If everyone gets through here unscathed, it's probably going to be a very tidy opening lap. Leaders getting through pretty unscathed. What about the mid-pack? Nice and tidy as we head through turn 11 and 12. We make our way around the old city of Baku. A little bit of lag there. Ooh, a little bit more. That's not good. Yeah, take it easy. Not close enough. Harmesis? No, he's not close enough either. So we already got a few gaps starting to form on the opening lap. Bit surprising. Blockman doing a tidy job out in front though, which is expected. We saw the amount of pace he had in qualifying. The fact that he's already got 1 second over his teammate is not at all surprising. Scorenzi on the medium compound tyre is driving well. He's made up a position on the start, overtaking Saucy. That's also expected. He's on the medium tyre. He's got a lot of grip right now. He needs to use that grip and try and pull away from the hard runners behind, which is exactly what he's doing. Saucy currently 2 seconds behind in P4, and he's going to have a really tough time catching up. Not too many movers and shakers in the field, as you can see. 3 drivers have gained a place, Scorenzi, Wombat and Youngling, and only 2 drivers have lost position. Saucy down 1 and Little Mick down 2, so a less than ideal start for the Haas driver. But it's only early doors in this race. We've got a long, long way to go. So plenty of time to try and recover positions. Yellow's out at Sergeant Bill in the wall at turn 3. Complete front wing damage results in a virtual safety car. Alright, our first VSC of the race, and it doesn't evolve into a safety car either, it just stays as a VSC. So our first bit of drama as Sergeant Bill catches up to Flavius. You'll need to pit, put on a set of medium compound tyres and turn this race into a 2-stop. That's exactly what Sergeant Bill needs to do. Needs to be careful though. He's not going to have a lot of speed with that broken front wing. Alright, we're taking our sweet time with the virtual safety car. It hasn't ended just yet. Drivers need to be incredibly careful with the delta they have to drive to. If they exceed the delta, if they drive too fast, they will get a drive-through penalty. Fortunately, no one's got one yet. When will we go back under green flag conditions? Man, this is taking a long time. This is a very, very long VSC. Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Where's the green flags? Still waiting. There we go. We're back on the green flag racing here at Azerbaijan. DRS is now enabled and Youngling pits in. Alright, interesting. Damage, perhaps? Or is this a strategical choice? Let's see. No, this is for damage. So he had a broken front wing. Wombat down a few positions. He's down a few more. That's because he's run off into the runoff area. Oh, and he's destroyed the front wing as well. At turn 2, that might be a VSC again. Oh, no, nothing. Nothing at all. But he's completely destroyed his front wing at turn 2. Not sure what happened. He might have been forced straight on at turn 2. He might have made a mistake and overcooked it into turn 2. Either way, he's now down in 13th position. The championship leader is down in 13th. And his main rivals, or Bill goes into the wall again. This time at turn 2. And he breaks his front wing again. Deary me. Got to be really careful on cold tyres. They have absolutely zero grip. But yeah, with Mighty Wombat, he's down in 13th. His main rivals, P1, P2, P4. They're in really solid point scoring positions. So This isn't good for the Mercedes driver. This isn't good at all. And he needs to make a pit stop to get that wing fixed. So he's going to lose even more time, even more positions. Needs to make sure he doesn't crash the car though, like that. He goes head first into the wall at turn 15. Bonks it again as he tries to recover. His race is going from bad to worse, I'm afraid. Oh dear. This is absolutely disastrous for our championship leader. Sector 3 yellows, that's Youngling spinning. He's broken his front wing completely. And there we go, another virtual safety car has been deployed. So 3 completely broken front wing. Oh, and it's evolved into a safety car. You can tell from the yellow dot on the mini track map, the safety car has been deployed. Alright. We've had... Had a VSC, now it's evolved into a proper safety car. Okay. So 3 completely broken front wings in the span of 3 laps. Youngling nice and easy into the pits. Make his way towards his pit stall. Oh, what? Set of mediums, I'm guessing, you'll put on? Yep, set of mediums. New front wing. And away he'll leave. There we go. Sergeant Bill pits in too. And the front wing change for him. He's onto a set of soft tyres. And away he leaves. Alright, what did the leaders do? Did they try and pit onto the hard tyre, or will they stay out? It is early. It is very early to pit for new rubber. Not to mention as well, if you do pit and nobody else pits, you're going to lose a ton of track position. And track position is crucial around a street circuit like this. What does Blockman do? Stays out. Rebel does the same. Scorenzi is pitting. He is taking the gamble. I like drivers that take a strategic gamble like this, because it can work. It can pay huge dividends. But this is the problem. We got other drivers not pitting. Except for Professor Phil. He's in. He's taking the gamble. So is Take It Easy. He's in too. Harvester stays out. Sparty is in. Flavius stays out. So where does Scorenzi come out? P7. In front of the Harvesters. Alright, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Scorenzi was lucky that both Ferraris pit in as well, otherwise he would have been down in P9. Which, yeah, obviously a much worse position to be in this bottom half of the field. The cars he has in front of him, Mr. Nars isn't a slow driver, Little Mick isn't a slow driver, so hey, he's not in a bad position right now, Scorenzi. He might have made this strategy work. Because now, theoretically, he doesn't have to make another pit stop for the rest of this race. Everyone else in front of him does. Now, the hard runners obviously couldn't pit. The medium tyres can't do 20 laps. No way. They'd be pretty dead after that. But Blockman and Rebel, they had the opportunity to pit. They didn't take it. They kept track position. See if they can make it work. See if they made the right call. We'll be doing at least one more lap behind the safety car. We've got to wait for Sergeant Bill to try and catch up. He's on soft compound tyres right now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I woke up with a stuffy nose this morning. It's not completely stuffy, but it is stuffy. Hello, Bags. Nice to see you in the chat. Already 5 laps in, we've got 1 VSC and 1 safety car. And no retirements. Broken front wings galore. Bill broke his front wing. Youngling broke his front wing, and Mighty Wombat broke his front wing completely, all 3 of them. And you don't realise how important your nose is until it gets blocked. You take it so much for granted. Like, when it gets blocked up, honestly, it is the worst feeling in the world. Got a completely stuffed nose. Can't breathe through it. Just constantly breathing through your mouth. It's awful. Yeah, it's not completely stuffed. It's just a little stuffed. Just a little bit. Oh, that's reminding me. Fuel shouldn't be a problem now. You can tell from Sergeant Bill. He's got 1.1 laps of extra fuel. You can see that on the screen there in the bottom left. So Sergeant Bill should be alright in terms of fuel. So should everybody else now. Anyone who ran with a little bit less fuel would have recovered that by now. So just be waiting on Bill to catch up. We'll get back on the green flag racing. Now, we'll have a look at the details. The order will have shuffled up because of the pit stops that did occur. You can see there, Scorenzi and everyone below Professor Phil has made at least one stop. In terms of position change, Scorenzi's down 3 positions, but he made a pit stop, so obviously he's down positions. Wombat down 6 because he was in trouble. Same with Youngling. Bill down 3 because he found trouble too. Biggest gainers, we have the Harmacist up 5 and Flavius up 6 positions. Mr. Nars has found 4 positions as well by staying out. So a few drivers gaining because of the pit cycle, but again, this order's shuffled up because of the pit stops we've just had. Wait and see where everyone slots into place after the next pit cycle. Alright, it's down to Blockman to control the field. Backing everybody up around turn 19. He's taking it really steady. Oop, well done. There we go. Taking it nice and steady. His teammate needs to be on the button. Needs to react to his teammate as soon as possible. Otherwise he's going to probably fall vulnerable to Saucy in P3. Waiting. Blockman still waiting. Still waiting. And away he goes. Yeah, nice job there from Blockman. He saw his teammate weaving. As soon as he saw that, he gassed it up and went. Saucy close, not close enough. Bit of battling going on as Scorenzi's already moved up to P6. He's overtaken Mr. Nars, so Mr. Nars didn't get a terrific restart. Down to P7 now, Scorenzi up to 6th. Little Mick following KD, not close enough to do anything just yet. Youngling gets by Sparty, that's for P14. Bill gets by Sparty too. We'll make our way through the first sector. But a really good start from Blockman there. Harmacist, Mr. Nars. Harmacist moved through, so Mr. Nars might have front wing damage, I'm not sure. Spinning, that's Bill. Bill has spun at turn 4. He's bonked the wall as well. Flavius and Take It Easy battling away. All around the outside goes Wombat. Here comes Youngling to join the battle. He looks to the inside at turn 7. Wombat's kind of boxed in, has nowhere to go. Youngling moves to P11. Flavius down to 12. Wombat trying to find a way through. You can't go side by side through here, I'm afraid. Bit of a moment there from Flavius as well, as he lost control through turn 8. Ooh, bit of lag there as well. Scorenzi's on the attack. He's on the back of Little Mick already. Wombat gets by Flavius for P12. Down the hill towards turn 16. He'll get on the brakes, down to 3rd, clip the apex. Back up through the gears. We'll head around turn 17, up towards turns 18 and 19. He's going to line up a pass here. Mick can't do much about it. Draws alongside. Who's got a better straight line speed? It's pretty even between the Haas and the McLaren, but the McLaren is winning overall. And Mick backs off. He doesn't want to battle into turn 1. Slots in behind the McLaren. Scorenzi moves up to 5th. His next target will be KD. KD won't be so giving. KD will try and hang on to his position as best he can. While behind we got close gaps, but no one close enough to battle just yet, so we'll keep our eyes on this. Yellows, that is Sergeant Bill spinning out. at turn 1, bringing out the yellow flags briefly. It's gone going again. Blockman Rebel leading the way. Blockman has not driven away from his teammate. Rebel half a second behind. Saucy in P3. In a slightly stronger position now on the alternate strategy, as he's only 1.3 seconds behind. And those medium tyres just don't have the pace. Oh, KD went into the wall. He went into the wall there at the top of the screen at turn 7. And Scorenzi moves through into 4th place. Well, there's the mistake. And let Scorenzi through. KD was going to put up a fight, but afraid he just went a little too far at turn 7. Now Little Mix closing in. Well, not a great run though through turn 15 compared to KD. Lost a lot of time through that corner. Take it easy. Hunting down his teammate. We got Youngling and Mighty Wombat as well. Right on board with the Merc. Let's see what's going on in this battle for P9. Yellow's out. It's Sparty who has spun. It's pointed back in the right direction, but he now falls down to 15th. Youngling closing in on Take It Easy. No DRS just yet. Youngling looks to the inside, heading towards turn 1. Gets in front. Take It Easy's not giving up though. Forced wide, almost into the wall. And as a result, Wombat moves through into P11. Round turn 2 we go. Open DRS and head down towards turn 3. Take It Easy. Not out of the battle just yet. Right on the back of this train. It's not quite close enough to do anything just yet. Mr. Nars, meanwhile, applying a lot of pressure to the harm assist in P7. So this battle's on as we'll make our way through turn 5. Round turn 6. Down towards turn 7. Nars close. Not quite close enough to do anything just yet. Stays behind for now in P8, but he will line up an overtake. He needs a really nice run through this final part of Sector 2. Needs to nail turn 16 and hope that the Harmesis doesn't have too much straight line speed. But Mr. Nice isn't really doing that just yet. Still 6.5 tenths behind. Needs a good run here through turn 15. Can he get it? Oh, that looked pretty decent. Oh, but the Harmesis was just as good. Through turn 16, again tidy, not using any of the outside curb, but the Harmesis was slightly better. Nars won't be close enough to pass just yet. Youngling, though, is close enough to pass, looks to the inside. Phil doesn't put up a tremendous amount of resistance. Sector 3 yellow flags. That's Sergeant Bill. As Rebel's taken the lead, he's overtaken his teammate. Blockman moves down to P2. Mr. Nars gets by, not quite, not fully. Into the wall goes the harm assist. Drives himself into the barrier at turn 1. And here comes Youngling down the inside of turn 2 to move through into P8. Professor Feld can now try and line up something as the harm assist gets a poor run. Here comes the Ferrari of Phil. Wombat's closing in as well as we enter turn 3. Not by enough though to try and attack. Or into the wall goes the harm assist. Through goes Wombat. Through goes Take It Easy. Harm assist moves down to 12th. He's been bullied down to 12th place. Dear oh dear. It all started when he turned in too early for turn 1. He put himself into the inside wall. Fell victim to Youngling. And eventually got a poor exit. Fell victim to Phil. And then eventually Mighty Wombat and Take It Easy. Just, yeah, it's been absolutely shafted down to 12th place. So Rebel out in front now. Blockman in P2. So Rebel's now got the measure over his teammate. Maybe a bit softer on his tyres as Sergeant Bill flick spins himself back in the right direction. Back in the wrong direction. Into the wall briefly. Now back in the right direction. There are the leaders. The two Alpines of Rebel and Blockman leading the way. And Rebel's pulling away. I wonder if Blockman has damage on his Alpine. His front wing looks okay. Just doesn't have the pace right now. As I said, maybe Rebel's a lot softer on his tyres and he's got better pace overall. Mr. Nars under a bit of pressure here. Youngling with DRS open should get by easily. Little Mick gets by KD. KD goes into the pits, that's why. Pulls it up nicely into turn 1. Youngling now up to P6 with that overtake. Wombat he's not done with yet. The 2 Ferraris on the back of him out of turn number 2. So KD moves on to a set of mediums. He has to go a fairly long way on those tyres, I must say. Nas, oh, Youngling's made a mistake at turn 3. He was pretty close to the barrier. He might have overshot the corner. He's getting out of the way here. He's got damage. That's the only reason why he'd be getting out of the way. That is so unfortunate. As Sergeant Bill has crashed out at turn 19, safety car number 2 has been deployed. Our first retirement of the race. Can we see him? He's just over there. Saw the tip of his rear wing there. Need a better outboard shot. Come on, game, work with me, please. Oh, and a drive-through for KD, not paying attention to the Delta. Oh, the car despawned as soon as I got a good view of that straight. Oh, dearie me. But KD, oh, pitting in early, not paying attention to the Delta, gives himself a drive-through penalty, which ultimately ruins his race unless there's another safety car. It's done. The best he can hope for is P14. Into the pits comes everybody. Everyone should be pitting. Even the hard runners should be pitting. Oh, that was lag. That was lag. Okay. Rebel drove himself into the wall. That was lag. Oh my word. Scorenzi stays out. Ooh, I don't think that's the right call. The mediums can go to the end from here. Ooh, I don't know if that's the right call. Rebels onto a set of hards. Saucy onto a set of mediums. They can go to the end. Blockman on a set of hards. They can easily go to the end. Phil stays out. He's taking track position. Little Mix onto a set of mediums. Nas onto a set of hards. Take it easy onto a set of mediums. Mighty Wombat on old hards. Didn't have another set of mediums to put on. Like I said, they can go to the end from here. I know that because I did a race on Tuesday. Rebel's made a mistake. He's gone straight on at turn 3. What on earth happened? Did he have a wheel disconnect or something? You can see the tyre marks. He's gone completely straight on. He's doing a 1,000,000 point turn to get it pointed back in the right direction. I'm surprised he didn't just back it up Kvyat style. That wouldn't have taken as long. And if he was smart, he wouldn't have hit anything. But Rebel now down in 10th place. Was he punted? Was he not paying attention? Did he have a wheel failure? I do not know. He's down in 10th. What drama here at Baku. This is what this track creates. Just all this drama. Get a bit of side-by-side racing here at Baku. But more often than not, it's people crashing, making mistakes, and weird strategy that makes this race interesting. And weather. We're not going to get any weather tonight, hopefully. It's still, completely sunny. Not one cloud in the sky. But this is what you get, just drama. Insane. Rebel needs to pit, too. That front wing's damaged. So he can't stay out there and toot around in 10th and try and recover. He needs to pit. Again. He can put on mediums. He should have a second set of mediums he can bolt on and go to the end of the race with. That's his only saving grace in this entire situation. There's another set of mediums that he can just send it on. And they should make it. Like, they'll get into the 70s in terms of tyre wear, but they should make it. And who's to say there isn't another safety car period at some point. Into the pits the Alpine goes. New medium tyres, a new front wing. Here comes Flavius. Now, Rebel should end up in front of Sparty in the harm assist. Should. Oh, it's taking a little while. Yeah, he should. He'll be fine. He should. Alright, P12. Well, whatever happened, Rebel's got a ton of work to do. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Alright, let's go through the order. Everyone's in their right spot now. Let's go through it. Scorenzi elected to stay out during this safety car period. He's on 8-lap-old hards. He should be able to make it to the end of the race. But he's going to be vulnerable. Because this man Saucy's in P2. Oh yeah, double stack for Blockman. So he would have lost time to Saucy. Yeah, that makes sense. So Saucy on mediums, he's going to be quick. He can make it to the end, by the way. Blockman, we know how quick he's been. Demonstrated it in qualifying. He's going to be rapid even on the hard tyres. So that battle between Saucy and Blockman will be an interesting one. Professor Phil elected to stay out. He's now in 4th place. He's on 8-lap-old hards. Little Mick is in a really cool position right here. P5, fresh mediums. Got a license to attack. Mr. Nars, similar story, but he's on the hard tyre. He needs to make sure his tyres are nice and warm for the restart. Take it easy, P7 on fresh mediums. Wombat on the recovery drive is P8 right now on 4-lap-old hards. KD is screwed. He's on fresh mediums, but he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding during the safety car period. We got Youngling on fresh hards in P10. We got Flavius Rebel, who screwed himself somehow during the safety car period. He's P12 on fresh mediums. We got Sparty and Harmesis on fresh mediums too. It's all scrambled. I have no idea what's going to happen, and it's Scorenzi who is controlling the field. Right on board, would look back. Wait until he goes. He hasn't gone yet. Just waiting. Waiting. Safety car's gone back in. And he goes. He goes. It's a nice restart. It's a pretty solid restart. He's got 6/10 in hand already on Saucy. As we head into turn 1, we've got 13 laps to go here at Azerbaijan. Up towards turn 2. Saucy, he will have a pace advantage. Those tyres will not take long to get up to temperature. He's going to be rapid, and Scorenzi's going to have a hard time keeping him at bay. Got Professor Phil in P4 already losing time to the top 3, as Little Mick half a second behind is trying to gain time. Oh my word! Who's that who went straight on? It was Mr. Nars! He went straight on into the wall at turn 3. I saw a flash of... Oh dear. I must have DC'd from the session. I must have DC'd from the session. Why did that happen? Alright, let's see if I can rejoin. Need to skip all of this. Technical difficulties. You gotta love these on F122. They're awesome. Go on, stop loading and just let me skip all of this, please. Oh, for goodness sake. This game is so incredible. Yeah. Go away. Alright. Yeah. Get through all of this. Get back to the main menu. And then I'll be able to find a way to rejoin. Yeah. Leave session. Go away. Now. Come on. Reach the main menu. I don't want to skip anything. Otherwise this game gets all frazzled. Yeah, what happened with Nars? Completely overshot turn 3. Went head first into the wall. That one. Hopefully I'll be able to join his session. Wait, did the whole lobby crash, Rebel? Because, where's KD? Hang on. I should be able to join him through here. 21 spaces open. What? Hang on, chat. I'll quickly... Everyone disconnected. Oh, the whole freaking lobby crashed. All of it crashed. Really? Far out. What happened? Well, the first driver to pop up who left the session was Take It Easy, but it was migrating. So Sparty must have disconnected or something. Discord is saying crash. Yeah, hang on, I'll check the Discord too. So So the whole flipping lobby crashed. This game is mint, I must say. Top quality game. Like, best game ever game. I so love this thing. I love it. It's so good. I honestly can't wait for F123 to come out. Oh, I'm gonna slam my head against the table. So what are we gonna do now? What, are we gonna have a 25% race and try and finish it? Are we just gonna can it, or are we gonna reschedule a new race? I imagine you did, Rebellion, after what happened at Austria. Oh, yeah, mate. I don't blame you for, you know, having that kind of emotion after what happened at Austria. So, by the way, seeing as you're here, what happened to you during that safety car period for you to go straight on at turn 3? Did you have a wheel problem? Did you just not paying attention, or did you get a punt from behind? What was it? Because when I saw that, I couldn't flipping believe it. And I was on board with you, watching your 11 million point turn, try and get it back in the right direction. It's really tight through there. You're just better off flicking it into reverse and just backing it out of there. So long as you're paying attention to what's behind you, you should be alright. Because yeah, it takes forever to do a million point turn, get it pointed back in the right direction. So much more interesting. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Okay, so got the go-ahead from Sparty. Tyres were cold and don't freeze myself at turn 2 and couldn't stop again at turn 3. Went in a weird angle and couldn't turn around. Oof. Oh no. Oh no. Hey man, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, so... I can't say though I made a mistake while I was leading, because I rarely freaking lead a race, so... But I've definitely made my stupid mistakes. Alright, so this is the go-ahead from Captain Sparty. We're restarting the lobby. It's going to be a sprint format, so a 25%er, with the final safety car order. By the way, pitting doesn't come into play. Okay, so he's gonna... How does that work? Correct, I am Mr. P10, Mr. Liddell. I qualified 10th, I finish at best 8th. And that is completely dependent on what happens during the race to my rivals, because I'm not quick enough to move up position. I'm just consistent enough to only make small mistakes, whereas other people make bigger ones. I disconnected before the AI drove me into the wall twice. We should start the order. Yeah. So we'll be restarting when the safety car came out, and we'll do the order from that. And it's a sprint formatted race. So what, we're going to do a sprint, and the results from that sprint will be the results for the whole freaking race. Because the way that Sparty wants to do it, if we do just a regular short race, everyone will need to make a pit stop. Whereas, if we do a sprint, there's no pit stop requirement. And there's the invite from Sparty, so I'll duck out of the showroom now and we'll move over. Yeah, this game's great, isn't it, Saucy? It's the best game ever. Like, top quality. Best F1 game ever. No cap. So, Sparty, yeah, accept. Got a friend request from Crine, I'll accept that later. Yeah, that's it. You know, if you make small mistakes, you can manage small mistakes. Whereas if you make a big oopsie, you lose a lot of time and you lose a lot of positions. So you make a small oopsie. There we go. If they add in red flags in 23, they won't work. They just won't. What will happen is someone will break their front wing and a red flag will come out for it. And we can have a 7-car pile-up at Monaco and we'll just have yellow flags in that sector, as per normal. If that's actually a thing. So... yeah, I think a lot of us know that feeling, Rebellion, where, you know, you make a little mistake and it just steadily builds up into a really big oopsie. According to the game description on Steam, we're getting red flags and 35% race distance. That's a very peculiar number to just chuck in. 35%. I mean, what are they trying to achieve at 35%? Yeah, that's true. Actual F1 can't handle red flag starts. That's right. So everyone in league racing needs to be very, 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 very scared for a red flag restart. Yeah, we can barely get away with normal starts at the best of times. And if pros can't do proper red flag restarts, then what hope do we have? Oh, tell you the truth, that Australian Grand Prix though, it looked like an online lobby. It really did. It looked like a 2-lap sprint after a safety car comes back into the pits and we have a safety car restart. That's how desperate it was with the Australian Grand Prix. It was absolutely just stupid. I've never seen Formula 1 drivers be that daft and that desperate all at the same time. I mean, yeah, they had cold tyres and whatnot, and yeah, you know, you probably could have got away with just a safety car or a VSC, but you got to know that on cold tyres you're not going to have grip, so you need to take it easy. If a red flag more or less ends my night early, I won't necessarily be complaining, if fair. I seriously doubt most leagues will run them, yeah, unless it's super quickly simulated. It'll make our league races take 6 hours just for a sprint. Yeah, probably. And we've seen some doozy crashes in league racing. So yeah, I mean, it already takes forever what we try and do with the red flag restarts that we implement in league racing. Like, if there's a really big shunt at the start, multiple cars involved, like 4 or over involved, you know, there might be a message sent across to restart the lobby and we do it all over again. But yeah, if the game does it, I'd be curious to know how it works. What's going on? Well, Marco, that's a great story, and it's a long one, so where shall I start? Qualifying was interesting. Blockman put it on pole. He did a lap time that was only 600ths of Destiel's time. He did a 38.55, so it was a pretty quick lap time. Race start was good. Not a single incident after the race start. That was really, really good to watch. And then after lap 1, it all started to go downhill. I think the first incident we had was Sergeant Bill putting it into the wall, if I remember correctly. He broke his front wing, and that brought out a safety car. No, a virtual safety car first. And then that ended, and then Wombat went straight on at turn 2. He broke his front wing, and then that caused nothing. And then Youngling broke his front wing, and that caused a virtual safety car that evolved into a safety car. And that caused a huge kerfuffle in terms of strategy. Drivers come in, put on new tyres. Some drivers stayed out and took track position. After that, it seemed pretty calm for a bit. I think a lot of drivers got through that middle stint okay. And then, what was it that caused the second safety car? Oh yeah, Sergeant Bill. He put it into the wall at turn 19, which is an easy thing to do. I think we've all done it at some point. I think he hit the Tech Pro on the outside of turn 19 and destroyed his car, which brought out a second safety car, which in turn created a lot more drama. No bags, none of them were Haas's, so it goes against what I've been saying, but no Haas's crashed so far, so you know, if a Haas crashes and breaks their front wing and brings out the safety car, my statistic is still fine. 98% success rate, mate. It's insane. Anyway, with Bill, he crashed, brought out a safety car, and that created a bit more drama. It initially started with Rebel in the chat. He did a De Vries at turn 2, completely missed turn 3, broke its front wing, and went all the way down from the lead to 10th. And then he broke it. Then he had to go into the pits, put on new tyres, and then come back out in 12th. And then, during the safety car restart that we just had, Mr. Nas completely overshot turn 3, smacked the barrier, and I kid you not, 3 seconds later, the entire lobby shuts down. All of it. The entire lobby crashes. All of it. And it's gone. So... Oh, yes, that's right. He wasn't... Or was he even in second, Rebel? Yeah, he was, because it was... Scorenzi was leading, that's right. He stayed out and took track position. No, thank you for correcting me, Ellie. Yeah, Scorenzi was leading because he stayed out. He wanted to have track position over fresh tyres. And then Rebel was second. He bunged it out of P2, then out of P3, moved all the way down to 10th, which promoted Saucy up to second. And then we had the safety car restart drama with Mr. Nas at turn 3. And then we had the whole lobby crash. So now we're here. We're going to have a 9-lap sprint to try and determine who wins this race. That more or less covers it. A lot of information to try and dish out all at once, but we got there. That's right. He pitted for hards during the first safety car period, which turned out to be a pretty decent call because he didn't lose too much time doing that. And then he stayed out during the second safety car period, which meant he gained a whole heap of track position and took the lead. And he should be the driver who starts on pole position for this little sprint we're going to have. If he's here, of course. Yes, he is. Now, we've lost a few drivers in the process. Sergeant Bill retired. Did anyone else retire? Can't remember. Uh-oh. Mick has left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin. Hopefully that doesn't completely destroy the lobby again. Hopefully. Yes, remember to put setups on. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot that. You don't want to run default. You really, 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 really do not want to run default, especially around a racetrack like this. You're going to have zero grid. Alright, so we're now down to 13. Fortunately, unless someone readies up too quickly, Little Mick has rejoined. That's good. And I can see his name on the Haas garage. I think that's his name there. Hard to tell. But he should be able to hop back in his car and hopefully pick a setup. Hopefully they all remember. Because, yeah, if you run default, you're going to be very slow and out of control. These default setups really don't offer much. Strategy should be fairly straightforward as well. Being a 9-lap race, everyone will be on the medium compound tyre. So we've just essentially had a red flag. That's all that we've had. Every driver has the opportunity to make adjustments to their car, put on a fresh set of tyres and send it. So yeah, that's about the only thing default setups offer. Bergs is just pain. And I'm not surprised that you're going to send it, Rebel, from your position after what happened with you earlier. Eventually the timer will pop up at the top of the screen, and then once it does, we'll get ready for the start of this little sprint that we're going to put together. Yeah, your body can do amazing things, Rebellion. When you're concentrating and you're sort of in the zone, a lot of your other sort of senses go away. And then when you relax, all your senses come back and you realise you really need to go to the toilet. Alright. We'll get ready for the start of the sprint. 9 laps we're going to have. Every single driver's going to send it. Alright. Now the order is set up by the order of the cars during the safety car period, during the safety car restart period. Now we'll get up, maybe not telemetry just yet, probably don't need it. Everyone's on the mediums, so tyre details will not matter. We'll run through the order just quickly. We have Scorenzi starting at the front of the field with Saucy starting alongside him in P2. Blockman P3, Professor Phil in 4th, Little Mick in 5th, followed by Mr. Nars in 6th. Now, you can see the ghosting here. So Little Mick hasn't taken control of his car yet. So he might be running default, unfortunately. So he's going to be in trouble, big trouble. Take it easy, P7. Then we have the two Mercs of Wombat and KD. KD didn't have to serve his drive-through, fortunately, so he's still in P9. Flavius P10, Rebel in 11th, Sparty in 12th, and the Harmesis will start from P13. How is this going to all unfold? I mean, we don't have everybody here, but, you know, we got enough. I mean, who are we missing? Sergeant Bell retired, so he's missing. Who else are we missing? Who else? Head scratcher, that one. We have both Ferraris, Little Mick. Was there another Haas in the race? Don't think so. Youngling's missing. He's missing. That's one. I'm missing another. Think. Can't remember who the other driver might be. We've got Flavius, got Sparty. Actually, no, that should be it. I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. So we had 15 cars. Bill retired, so we're down to 14. The other one's Youngling. Yeah, right. Okay. I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. Couldn't work out who the second car was when I already mentioned it. It was Sergeant Bell, retired, out of the race. Alright. Alright. Lining up. On pole position is Scorenzi. Oh, and he's overshot his grid slot by just a little bit. He's been pushed back. This is an opportunity for Saucy. He has the inside line down towards turn 1. Blockman right behind Scorenzi. Can he find a way by into turn 1? All 13 cars are lined up, ready to run for this sprint that determines everything. We've got 5 red lights. And we're back underway here at Baku. It's a nice start from Saucy in P2. It's not enough though. It's Scorenzi who leads through turn 1. Up towards turn 2 we go. Take it easy, Mr. Nars battling for position. Mick and Phil doing the same as we head towards turn 2. Mick gets in front. Phil's down to P5. So a nice start from Little Mick in the Haas. Scorenzi still leads. Half a second in front of Saucy with Blockman in P3. Wombat trying to make moves in P6. Trying to look around the outside. Oh, Phil goes into the wall and moves down to P6. Maybe even P7. As his teammate tries to look around the outside. Oh, and he goes in the wall again. A terrible start for Professor Phil. It's all going wrong as Mr. Nars moves through into P6. And Phil tumbles down the order down to P13. Dear, oh dear. Absolutely horrible start. Scorenzi, though, he's done exactly what he needed to do during this opening lap. Got a very nice start, even with that disqualification pushing him back. He's now moving forward. He's built a gap of 0.7 of a second to Saucy in P2. Blockman P3 is hunting the Aston Martin driver. Little Mick has company. He's got Mighty Wombat right behind. Can't go for a move just yet in in turn 15, let's say P15, as we go through turn 16 on the racetrack. Wombat, he'll try and line up something here. He's right in the slipstream of the Haas as we make our way through turns 18 and 19. Look at the run that Wombat gets through the corner. Remember, Mick wasn't able to join the session properly, so he's more than likely got a default setup on the car. KD, Rebel, drag racing down towards turn number 1. He's closed, Rebel. Doesn't go for a move just yet. Take it easy. Under a bit of pressure as KD runs wide. Through goes Rebel into P8. Has a look to the inside of turn 2. Doesn't fully commit to the move though. Got to run together. Dumping the battery. Closing in on the Ferrari in front. Looks to the inside. Down towards turn 3. Can't outbrake. Take it easy. Ferrari driver hangs on to P7. Nice defending there. You go around turn 4. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Rebel. KD a bit too far behind to try and capitalise on that. So a bit of battling going on here in the midfield. Can't do much though in the middle sector. Just have to stay behind, try and not lose too much time to the car in front, which is exactly what Saucy is not doing. He's losing time to Scorenzi. The gap's increased to 1.2 seconds. Blockman will have to try and find a way by the Aston Martin here as quickly as he can. We head into turn 15. Oh, the brakes down to second gear. Making our way down the hill towards turn 16. Brakes again, down to third, clipping the apex, back on the power. Nice and tidy from both Saucy and Blockman. Around turn 19. Oh, Blockman's got a run going. He's got straight line speed. He's got battery to play with. Draws alongside and slingshots by the Aston Martin. He moves into P2. Scorenzi, new fastest lap, 42.1. No one else has beaten it just yet. Rebel getting by, take it easy. The Ferrari moves down to P8. Got a battle on for P5. Nas, Mick, side by side through 1. Mick a little wide, but he maintains 5th. Here comes Rebel on Mr. Nas to the inside at turn 2. Contact between the two cars, but they get around the corner just about. The RS open on both Rebel and Mr. Nas's Red Bull. We head towards turn 3. Nas can't outbrake Rebel into turn 3. He has to stay behind. Rebel now needs to catch up to Little Mick in the Haas. Already close to within a second, just about within a second, of the Haas driver. Similar story with Blockman. He's close to within 9/10 of the race leader as we go through the castle section. Round turn 11, up towards turn 12. Nice and tidy from all 3 of our race leaders. KD in trouble. A mistake at turn 7. He's lost control. Oh, he just about catches it, but he's got front wing damage. Yeah, you can tell there's no front wing on that Mercedes. And the harm assist lets him through, so I wonder if the two came together. Here comes Sparty to move on through. Same with Professor Phil. This might get a bit iffy. Phil to the inside. Not fully committing to the move. Oh, that is really awkward through turn 15. Eventually, Phil gets in front of the harm assist. Yeah, KD, big problems for him. He needs to pit and get that thing fixed. Rebel gets by Little Mick. That is for P5. So Rebel recovering well into the top 5. He's got a fair bit of catching up to do though. To Mighty Wombat in 4th position. So the battle's on at the front. Scorenzi, Blockman, Saucy. P1, 2 and 3 separated by 1.1 seconds. KD pits in, probably put on a set of softs, try and score fastest lap. Through turn 4. Now, Blockman really can't do anything through this middle sector. As I mentioned before, you cannot pass through here. It's all about minimizing time loss more than anything else. Oh, big understeer though for Blockman. He missed the apex of turn 7 by about half a car width. So he could afford to cut a fair chunk more there at turn 7. And you could tell from the interval, Scorenzi opened up the gap by about 1/10.5 coming out of turn 7. But now Blockman's gaining back that time lost through this flat-out section as we head through turn 15. Saucy is still in this fight, by the way, in 3rd place. He hasn't let go just yet. Wombat, he must have a damaged car, because Rebel has caught up quite quickly on this lap. Should get by the Mercedes quite swiftly, I would think. Blockman, not close enough yet. What does the battery life look like? 17% compared to 28% and 12. So Scorenzi has the advantage in terms of battery life. Blockman can try and save a bit of battery in his while utilising DRS. As we head down the back straightaway, DRS open, heading towards turn 3. 4 tenths is the gap, 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths. Blockman closing in, not by enough though to attack into the left-hander. Take It Easy gets by Mr. Nars, that's for P7. Rebel getting close. Wombat low on fuel, yellow's out. It's the Harnesser spinning at turn 1. No obvious damage from what I can see, as Take It Easy and Nars battle again through turn 3. Oh, a big moment from Take It Easy. A huge slide at the exit of the corner as we go through turn 4. Take It Easy has now settled his Ferrari. He's pulled away a little bit from the Red Bull. Rebel running even with fuel. I need to look after that. Up through the castle section. Round turn 12. Nice and tidy from both Wombat and Rebel as they make their way around the old city of Baku. The old city over there on the inside of the racetrack, sort of where the city started. And the further away you go from the old part of the city, you can see the modernisation of the city of Baku. Especially when you head down the main straightaway. See all the skyscrapers and the quite astonishing looking architecture in the distance. Case in point. Blockman getting closer to Scorenzi. Not by enough though to attack into turn 1. Scorenzi doesn't get a terrific exit out of the opening corner. Blockman still can't do much as Rebel gets by Mighty Wombat. That's for P4. Oh, Wombat, shocking exit. Lost a ton of time out of turn 1. Half a second behind already as he goes through turn 2. Through turn 3, up towards turn 4. The gap sits at 0.3 of a second between the top 2. Big understeer there from Blockman. He loses time. Gap opens up to 0.6 of a second as we go through turn 5, up towards turn 6. Pressure's on here between the top 3. Saucy is still there, still lingering in 3rd place. That's a better line from Blockman through turn 7. You can really cut that corner quite substantially. Through the castle section, up the hill, round turn 11, into turn 12. The gap sits still at half a second, 0.4 of a second between the top 2. Round 13, round turn 14. So some very different racing lines there from all 3 drivers entering the left-hander of 15. Round turn 16. And into the flat-out final part of the racetrack. This is one of the best camera angles you can get on the racetrack. You can see the wonderful architecture around the circuit. I'll give Codemasters credit. They know how to make a street circuit look pretty damn good. It's quite impressive. Down towards turn 1. Blockman is not close enough. Not yet. We've got 3 laps to go. Lap 7, lap 8 and lap 9. That's what we've got left. Last 10 miles of this Grand Prix. Rebel, new fastest lap, 41.6. 0.4 of a second is the gap. Down towards turn 3. Not close enough just yet. This is going to be a very, very interesting battle when we arrive onto the final lap. Phil, Sparty battling away at turn 1. Phil gets in front. Sparty moves down to P10. Meanwhile, Scorenzi still under a fair chunk of pressure. He's withstanding it pretty well though. Hasn't made a single mistake. Hit his marks. Hit every apex. KD spins at turn 1. No damage though. And even if he did break a front wing or retired the car, with the number of laps remaining, we're not getting a safety car. So this is it. This is... Oh, and a bonk! A bonk on the barrier there for Scorenzi. Hitting the barrier on the outside of turn 15. Don't think he would have got any damage from that. Gee whiz, you've got to be so very careful doing that kind of stuff. He's using whatever battery is left in the car. Blockman is doing the same. Yellow's out. It's the harm assist. In the wall at turn 8. He's broken his front wing. But as I said, too few laps remaining. Blockman to the outside at turn 1. He tries to go around the outside, and is he going to get in front? Not yet. So Scorenzi has the inside line at turn 2. The battle is still on, exiting turn 2 as well. But Scorenzi doesn't have DRS. Blockman does. And the overspeed helps the Alpine driver get in front. Blockman takes the lead into turn 3 with 2 laps to go. Saucy on the back of it. Bonk! A bump into turn 3. Fortunately, Scorenzi doesn't go into the wall, but he has lost time to Blockman. The gap now sits at 6.5 tenths. Through turn 6, up towards turn 7. The gap increasing. It's now 7.5. Maybe he did get some damage with that hit into the barrier. It's right on board. Maybe a tad bit slow through here. A lot of understeer. Yeah, I reckon he got damage. With that hit at turn 15 on lap 7, I reckon that gave him damage. Blockman is driving away. The gap's increased to a second. We go into turn 15. Oh, he scrapes the barrier too. Scorenzi closes the gap up. It's back to under a second. McLaren driver needs to get a bit closer though. We head through turn 9, through 18 and 19 for the second last time. Scorenzi, I don't think will get DRS. He does not. Saucy will get DRS, but he's got no battery to play with. This is it, the final lap of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. What has been a very weird Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Into turn 2. Down to 4th gear. Clipping the apex. Getting back on the accelerator. Opens DRS. Now Saucy will close in. Not by enough, though, to attack into turn 3. But he could try a pass after the final corner down the long main straightaway. He needs to make sure he's right on the back of Scorenzi here. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's not letting the McLaren driver pull away. Blockman, though, he is pulling away. The gap's increasing now, 1.3 seconds. Still increasing. Saucy's close. Doesn't go for the move, though, at turn 7. As we head through the castle section for the final time. Turns 8, 9, 10, through 11 and 12. Yellow's out again. That is the harm assist slowing down. Had a mistake. He's gone going again. Well, this is Blockman's race to win. So long as he doesn't make a mistake. Makes no mistake at turn 15. Scorenzi and Saucy do the same. But Scorenzi got a pretty decent run there at turn 15. The gap's increased to 6 tenths. That might be just enough. Just enough. We'll wait and see though. But no one's challenging this man. He's going to take another huge chunk out of Mighty Wombat, our championship leader. Blockman is going to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Scorenzi will hang on to second. That final sector was just not good enough from Saucy. P3 is his, a podium finish. Rebel recovers well. He finishes in P4. Mighty Wombat are top 5. Then we'll have Little Mick in P6. 12 seconds back from Wombat. I'm sure, though, he'll be pretty happy with a 6th place finish. Take it easy in 7th. And we'll have Mr. Nars and Professor Phil. A drag race to the line. Red Bull versus Ferrari. Who will take P8 in this Grand Prix? Mr. Nars. Not by much, though, to Professor Phil. Look at that. 28 thousandths of a second. As Sparty completes the top 10 with Flavius in P11. Then we'll have KD and the Harmesis, who's broken his front wing again. With KD finish P12. Not sure what happened to him at turn 7 between himself and the Harmesis. But whatever did happen cost KD his race. Just be waiting on the Harmesis. Yeah, no, you drove pretty well in that recovery, Rebellion. Did quite well getting back up to 4th. Driving as quickly as you did. Yeah, fastest laps. You got fastest lap as well, a 41.421. You were 3/10 quicker than your teammate who set the next fastest time. There we go. That's it. Grand Prix done. An interesting one at that. Virtual safety cars, proper safety cars. Drama all about. A red flag, kind of. A disconnect that resulted in a red flag. Yeah, a weird topsy-turvy race. So, Blockman is our race winner. Scorenzi comes home in P2. Saucy P3, followed by Rebel in 4th. Wombat 5th. Little Mick in 6th. And we have Take It Easy 7th. Mr. Nars in 8th. Professor Phil in 9th. Sparty rounds out the top 10. Then we have Flavius P11. KD in 12th. And Mahamas, our final finisher, in 13th position. Should make a note that 2 drivers are not included on this final results table. Those drivers are Youngling and Sergeant Bill. Bill had a retirement. Youngling, not sure why he wasn't able to come back, but yeah, he'll miss out on scoring points for this Grand Prix. An interesting one at that. Now I've got to remember, got to leave. Don't want to do another 26 laps around this place. Not again. Oh, I can't press pause yet. Oh. There we go. We'll quit to the main menu. It's all done. All done. That was weird. That was all just very weird. A lot of drama. Some good racing. And yeah. I kind of mentioned it in the intro. Baku has created some of the most unpredictable races you can possibly see in the real world of Formula One, and it's very much the same here in the virtual world. Quick shout out to our top 3 as well. Saucy, solid performance, solid points again. You keep yourself within the championship fight with P3, so no mega effort in regards to that. Saucy made the right strategy calls. Scorenzi made the right strategy calls at the right time. Pitting during that first safety car period proved to be a huge help. When the second safety car came out, gave yourself the lead, and then we had that whole disconnect thing, which really shuffled things around for us. Got it going again, led several laps, but that bonk at turn 15, I reckon that gave you damage. Yeah, it just didn't seem like you had the same amount of pace as you did earlier in that little sprint that we had, so a bit unlucky in that regard. You know, around a street circuit like Azerbaijan, really easy to do. The walls are so close. If you make even a tiny mistake, go into the barrier. So no, mega effort on your first race here in America's Tier 1. So well done with the P2 finish. And also to our race winner, Blockman, mega pole lap, 38.5. That is properly fast. Had a lot of pace all the way throughout the race. Your teammate had you covered though for a bit, and I wonder if you got damaged during that sort of middle bit of the race. Because yeah, Rebel was quicker, had the pace on you. You had that double stack which put you back behind Saucy for a bit, and then we had that whole shebang with the entire field disconnecting. But you recovered well, drove the sprint exactly how you needed to, and you ended up taking the race win. So congrats on that. And yeah, you're going to take a fair chunk of points out of Mighty Wombat's lead. So this championship battle is going to go down to the wire, I reckon. We got 2 rounds left in this championship and 2 very interesting, very different circuits coming up. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 14 of the championship at Miami International Autodrome for the Miami Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.